Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. This morning, Lisa and I have gotten all the chicken processing stuff together because my dad's coming over to pick it up here in a little bit. We're going to process chickens, golden fryers, at his house Saturday morning, real early before it gets too hot and sultry. Because I'm going to tell you what, y'all, down here in the south, probably about everywhere in the country right now, it's hot and hotter than hot. And you could pretty much lather up with a bar of soap out here right now. It's so humid. But y'all, we got the animals fed up and I'm gonna take it in the house today. And Lisa's gonna do a few things in the kitchen. Hopefully show y'all putting up some of this harvest again. Something else maybe this morning. I know she got butter beans done yesterday. She'll probably show you some of those. And I got some peppers to string. I've got some habaneros going in a ferment. Gonna make some habanero hot sauce. That should be pretty good. And some other things, y'all. Oh, and one more thing. We just got done feeding up the pigs not long ago. And Dixie, she is hard-headed. She will run right through that barrier, that electric barrier that separates that 1 acre hog lot. It shocks her, but she keeps going. And y'all, we actually had lightning hit our fencer a couple of weeks ago, so we sent that off for repair. And we've been using one that doesn't put out quite as much juice. So she's been getting brave. We go down there with the feed, she gets excited and just comes on through it. So we've been dealing with that this morning too. But I'll get the new fencer back in the mail the other day. The lightning actually had hit. It was a bad storm, y'all. I actually saw the lightning bolt hit and I thought, I hope my hogs ain't dead. It was that bad, and it actually ran back and hit the fencer. So I've got some new stuff to put on the fencing system to hopefully prevent that in the future. But we're gonna get on up in the house and see what Lisa's got going on. Y'all hit that old like for us. Let's get to it.
Alright, y'all, showed you the other day us picking our Henderson butter beans. I got those canned yesterday. Once they've sat till this afternoon, I will take the bands off, check the seals really good, and I always wash them with warm soapy water and let them dry before I put them up. Got 3 pint jars of pickled pepperoncinis. And I got 4 more of the 12-ounce jars of the cowboy candy, which is this year I'm mixing it with the jalapenos and the time bombs. I'm going to be processing tomatoes today. I've said before that I normally throw in a gallon bag and freeze them, and I prefer it that way because the skin just peels right off. But due to freezer space, I don't have room to throw these in there right now. So I'm just going to do it by blanching them and then ice water bath them to get the skins off. And I'll save the skins again to dehydrate them. But this should give me hopefully about 7 pints of diced tomatoes to put up. And the cantaloupe vine that we have shown that's taken over the cattle panel trellis, that was supposed to be in a 1 pound cantaloupe, single serve cantaloupe variety that should fit in the palm of your hand. And this is the first one that has ripened all the way. As you can see, it's not a little, it's supposed to be about softball size. 1 pound, this one weighs 3.5. I noticed they were getting bigger, so I did end up making them some support so they wouldn't break from the vines. But I'm very excited for this actually being a little bit bigger because this will give us more fruit. And there's about, I'd say, 10 or 12 plus more that are this size that are getting their netting and are still green. So, and then there's still some putting on, which there'll probably still be some putting on when we pull those vines up.
Y'all, I wanted to show you these patty pan squash. Yesterday, I trimmed and cut up and vacuum sealed and froze 8 pounds of these. I think we're up to probably 20 some pounds in the freezer right now. And Lisa was talking about freezer space. Yeah, we've been limited, but fortunately, we had a freezer delivered this morning that we ordered about a month or so ago, and it finally showed up. So now we have additional space, especially if one of the freezers were to go down, we have something big enough to move stuff into. But I got those done yesterday, in here in the cool, and I also processed a whole bunch of okra. I think I put up about 3 or 4 pounds of okra. Well, that's quite a bit of okra, and I didn't bread it and freeze it this time, which sometimes we'll do that in a dry breading, because I really like to make a what do you call it when you
like a wet batter?
A batter. That's the word I'm looking for. I like to make a batter too, y'all. And so you know, if you fry it different ways. And the other night I actually took some of those okra. No, it was for breakfast, and fried up some smoked sausage my parents had sent over, and fried up some eggs over easy, and sauteed some okra and put over the top of it, and that was breakfast.
And don't knock okra and eggs until you try it, because it was really good.
It was pretty good. Pretty doggone good. I like tomato and eggs. Lisa doesn't so much, but I like tomato and eggs too. But y'all, also our cayennes are starting to come off, and I'm gonna open this door. You can see what we do with those. We keep fishing line up in here and a big needle, and we just keep putting it through the stems, and they're starting to dry from the top down. As you can see the progression of them. We'll end up, y'all, with probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 of these drying out, because we'll grind them up and make our own red pepper flakes. That's always a good thing to have, you know. Anything that you can grow instead of buying in the store, you're a whole lot better off. But I'm gonna get back behind the camera and let Lisa get to processing some of these tomatoes and show you how she, I guess, what do you call that? Steams them?
No, it's blanching them.
She'll blanch them and then peel the skins. It goes pretty easy. I kind of like the frozen method better, because my hands can take the cold better than they can the hot. All right, I'll let you get back to it.
And I will give an update on our cucumbers. I said when we planted them back in the spring, early summer, that it was a new variety to us. It's the National Pickling Cucumber, which is supposed to be a great variety for pickles. And I was doing those, and then planned a succession planting of Max Pack, which is supposed to also be a heavy yield and great pickling cucumber. I can tell you now, not impressed with the National Pickling. Yes, I've probably had enough to make a batch of pickles, but the problem is they've came in 1 today, 2 tomorrow, so there's no way to keep cucumbers fresh until you have enough to do pickles. So not impressed. I did replant the Max Pack in another bed up here at the house. They are looking fantastic. They are loaded with blooms. So from the looks of those already, I'm more impressed than these. So if you're looking into trying different pickling varieties, I would not go with the National Pickling. I'm just going through and cutting the cores out before I blanch them, and any any bad spots that are on them. It's been a rough year for tomatoes. We have had an abundance, but they definitely have not been the prettiest. It usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes for the skin to start peeling back. I just keep a check on them, and then I use one of these little fryer spiders to get them out with, and just dunk them in my ice water. And you can see they'll just peel right off. And one thing I will mention, as I've said before, I normally freeze my tomatoes and then thaw them to get the skin to slide off. If you've never done that before, you will have a different consistency with your tomatoes. Honestly, from frozen, it's a better consistency to make sauce or soups with. That's what I actually did with the last few bags that I had in the freezer. And because you're going to be cooking this, if you're water bath, you can water bath or pressure can. Water bath is going to be cooking for an extremely long time. So I do like blanching for diced tomatoes. I did do a batch from frozen, and I have for the past several years, but I just like the consistency for diced tomatoes from blanching.
Y'all, I want to step out here to the garage real quick and give you a little tip on your freezers. We were in there talking about this new freezer that we just got, and I'll show it to you. It's a GE, I believe, and it's rated for use in a garage, and it's already down to temp. It was delivered early this morning. We ordered this thing quite a while back, but with the delays in supply chain, I guess it just took forever to get it. But we wanted one that was big enough that if anything happened to our other freezers, we had something that we could move stuff into. And we won't completely fill this freezer all the way to the top. We'll still fill it, yes, because they're more efficient when you keep them full. But what I was going to talk to you about is rotating your stock. We have 4 freezers now, and I'll show you this. That's got hog on it. I just had some vinyl, and I was messing around one day, and I put that on there wondering if Lisa would see it and complain about hog, but we've got pork in there, so it worked out. But anyways, once a year, we have manual defrost freezers. You'll want to come out here and sort through your freezers and basically empty one out, let it defrost, let it get back to temp, put your stock back in it. And y'all keep your stock rotated. Eat out of these things. Don't just put food up and forget to use it. Get out here and pull this food out. I know that sounds crazy, forget to use it, but sometimes you get into a hurry and it's easier just to pick up something at the grocery store versus thawing something out. But try to think ahead. That's how we do it anyways, and get your stuff thawed out. But keep it rotated. And usually we go through everything in these 4 freezers that we have. We'll go through it in a year, sometimes twice in a year. But that's just a little tip for you. Keep stuff rotated, and make sure, we like the manual defrost freezers the best because you don't have to worry about those things thawing out your food to do a defrost. That way you have control over it. Let's get back into the kitchen. It's hot out here.
And all I'm doing is dicing them into large chunks. When I'm doing them from frozen, I generally just pull them like that. Just pull them apart. But I want these a little bit smaller diced. And once I get all these cut up, you can water bath tomatoes, but I can mine. You have the option of canning them in water or in their own juice. I prefer in their own juice because it's a more concentrated flavor. When you do it that way, it is a longer processing time for both water bath and pressure. But water bath, I think, is like 90 minutes. And pressure canning is, I think, 25 or 35. I'd have to look. So I pressure can them so that they're not getting cooked down as heavily. for hanging out with me today as I get some more stuff put away. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. And the next video will hopefully be getting my fall crops started. So I'll take you along with that. I'm a little bit behind, but it's okay. But we'll see you on the next one, guys. Y'all have a great day.